as we are going healing emotional wounds through spiritual awareness. So before we start, we will just do an intro. What is this session all about? And then we will begin the session. Thank you.
Namaste, everyone. Welcome to, I think this is year number 5 of the Soulful Sessions. We started this during the lockdown 5 years or 500 years back, whichever way you want to look at it. It started off talking about concepts of spirituality, about healing, about meditation, specifically pranic healing to enhance meditation. And then we went into more and more of the deeper esoteric subjects. And every other week, every fortnight, over the last 5 years now, we've got, I think, more than 400 hours of content that's gone up. It's on our channels, and everyone who's there on our WhatsApp group, they have access to those, where we talk about various kinds of problems and we take questions. We talk about, in this particular session, we were talking about healing emotional wounds through spiritual awareness. So what are these emotional wounds, how they manifest in our lives, what the mental, emotional, physical, and certain, like, okay, we'll have this in the group. We'll talk about this as we go forward. But let's just have, as part of getting to know each other in this session right now, can you write down whether you have any emotional pains which are caused by your relationships or your finances or your work? Whatever it is, just put one of them in the chat. And then as we do the healing part of the things, we're going to work on focusing on those and healing those. So in the chat, whether it's a work-related emotional problem or a finance-related problem or an emotion-related, relationship-related problem, we're going to work on all of those. And then if you have any questions, we'll take all of them at the end of the session. Recordings for this session will be sent. We've got like 400 registrations right now. Recordings for the session will be sent via email to everyone who registers, and of course, within the group itself. So this is what this session is about today, healing emotional wounds. We'll be doing some practical parts, some inner reflection, some forgiveness, a bit of meditation, and of course, with the global focus there is, because we've got people from, I think, 85 countries who've logged in for this now. So thank you for being a part of this session, and let's take it forward, yeah?
Okay, thank you so much. So let's begin the session. Just hold on. With a short invocation and some relaxation, breathing, so we are in a better state of mind as we are going through this seminar. So may I invite all of you to just sit comfortably, relax your body. You may close your eyes. Just bring your awareness to your whole body. If you feel any pain or discomfort at any area of your body, just bring your awareness to that area and mentally say, I let go. I am not this body. The body is just a vehicle of the soul. I am the soul. I am that I am. Inhale slowly and deeply. Visualize your whole body gets brighter and lighter. And exhale any pain, any discomfort. Visualize it all disintegrate and expel out of your system. Inhale, visualize your whole body gets brighter and lighter. And exhale. Now bring your awareness higher to your thoughts and your emotions. Just observe each and every thought that comes to your mind and fades away. Mentally say, I am not my thoughts. I am not my emotions. Thoughts and emotions are just products of the soul. I am the soul. I am that I am. Visualize all your thoughts and emotions disintegrate and disappear. All your fears, worries, frustrations disintegrate and disappear. And what remains is just brilliant white light. Inhale slowly and deeply. Exhale slowly and deeply. Now just mentally say to the Supreme Being, to our spiritual teacher, to all the spiritual teachers, all the holy gurus, holy masters, saints, archangels, holy angels, and spiritual helpers. Thank you so much for all of your priceless blessings, for your divine light, divine love and divine power, divine guidance, help and protection, inner healing and physical healing, good health and happiness, prosperity and abundance, spirituality and illumination. And thank you so much for bringing us all together here to learn and to grow. Thank you in full faith. Inhale slowly, inhale all the blessings. Exhale slowly and be aware of your whole body. Inhale slowly. Exhale slowly. Inhale slowly, inhale all the blessings. And exhale slowly. When you are comfortable, gently open your eyes with a big, big smile. Again, namaste and welcome. Now let's talk about emotional wounds. And as we talk about the wounds awareness and the issues that can happen in our life, all these challenges, then we will move forward to talk about how we can deal with all these challenges in life. Thank you. Arko, back to you.
Yeah. Emotional wounds. Okay. Now, emotional wounds are essentially these unresolved negative experiences that create lasting psychological pain, and they can stem from various sources. Now, there are 5 sources that you can be seeing which are on the screen, and whichever one is applicable to you, please write that down in the chat. So there can be traumatic events, there can be abusive ones, there can be loss and grief related matters, they can be ongoing situations and repeated negative experiences. Okay, so we'll go through these 5 basic ones. Which one appeals to you? Which one has affected you the most? Now, there can be multiple ones. These emotional wounds, they create a blockage in our system. So traumatic events, it could be like there's a war happening right now. I'm not just talking India, Pakistan, I'm talking about Iran and Israel. There's Gaza, there's Palestine, there's the sociological warfare that's happening, there's the tariff war that's happening. So these also cause a lot of ongoing situations. So it's a psychologically violent environment. You're dealing not just with the illness of a loved one, or your own self, but you're dealing with the illnesses that you see around you. So the environmental factor is something there. Okay. Now, some of you are saying that there are all of them. If all of these problems are there, try and focus on the one problem, which, if solved, would take care of the majority of your situations. So have you witnessed a past trauma that you've experienced that is causing you an inability to move forward, or it's causing you to be stuck? Have you been abused or neglected? Now, these are toxic relationships. It could have been from your parents, it could be from your partner, it could be even at work, all of these. Loss and grief. Now, this is something that I have personal experience with. When you think that you've overcome grief and you think you've overcome something that's okay in life, and then all of a sudden it hits you, because grief is not something that gradually goes away. It sometimes goes away, and then when it hits you again, you are completely blindsided and you don't know how to react. Okay, so then there's another one in which you have bullying, betrayal, toxic relationships. Now, you could be asking whether it's toxic relationships connected to negative experiences or it's abuse and neglect. It depends whether you've been neglected and you feel bad about it, or whether you've been given negative situations and therefore you feel bad about it. So that kind of things are there. Okay, so keeping all of these in mind, there are different situations which will give us emotional clarity. So if you go on to the next slide, we'll see a quote by Master Chua Kok Sui, where Master Chua says that emotional stability and clarity are a manifestation of spiritual development. Emotional stability and clarity are a manifestation of spiritual development. What does this mean? Because more soul energy comes through us, and we're going to talk about this in the coming slides. As more soul energy, as more spiritual energy comes to us, we feel a different kind of ability to handle situations. So we can be under a lot of fire, under a lot of pressure, but still be able to manage it. So what I'm going to ask every one of you to do here, including the ones who are scribbling on the screen and the ones who are in general having a good time, on a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is absolutely miserable and 10 is on top of the world. So on a scale of 1 to 10, where would you rate your emotional state right now? On a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is absolute misery, okay? and 10 is absolute ecstasy. Where would you rate yourself right now? Okay, so make a note of the points that are coming in. So some of them, there are 7s and 6s and 5s, some 8s and 9s, a couple of 3s also. But on an average, it's hovering around 5, 6, 7-ish, right? So make a note of that. What we're going to show you right now, is a very simple technique, super simple technique. It's called the psychological breath. Okay, it's called the psychological breath. So what you do is, ready? Ready? All eyes on me. Or as Superman says, hey buddy, eyes up here. Okay, from the new trailer. Anyone excited for the new Superman movie? I am. So, buddy, eyes up here. Okay, take a deep breath with your nose. All right? Close your mouth, take a deep breath with your nose. Hold your breath. Hold your breath. Take another breath in. And exhale through your mouth. All right? Slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down. Close your eyes, close your eyes. Be aware of your nose. Inhale through the nose. Take a full breath in. Hold. Take another breath. Lock it in. Open your mouth and exhale. And drop your shoulders. Exhale and drop your shoulders. Keep your eyes closed. Take a deep breath. Breathe normally. And open your eyes. Notice how you are feeling still. Notice how there's no noise. So now again, on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you feel? 1 being miserable, 10 being super ecstatic. Compared to before, how do you feel now? Notice the difference in yourself. Notice the difference in yourself. If you're feeling that it's gone worse, take another deep breath and exhale. But you'll notice that overall, the numbers are now ranging from 9s and 8s. From 5s, 6s, and 7s, they've all gone up to the 9s and 8s. So just by properly watching your breath, you can calm down a lot of the excitement, a lot of the roughness that's there, and you can relax. Okay? Take a deep breath, hold. We'll take care of more situations as we come in. Okay? Right. So emotional strength and stamina are required to pass through the process. You must be able to handle exasperation. And I understand there's a lot of exasperation going around in the world right now. While you are looking to achieve clarity, this will help. So then we need some spiritual awareness. We need to figure out some more things going forward. So I request Hengame to kindly take over the part and we talk about emotional and spiritual awareness and how they affect the energy system. Over to you.
Okay, now, in order to be able to heal, whatever challenges, whatever problems we are going through, spiritual awareness is very important. Now, awareness in different levels, different layers, starting from being aware of the situation that we are going through, awareness of the suffering that we are going through. In Buddhism, whatever we are discussing here are from the teachings of Master Choa Kok Sui, and it's non-religious, but sometimes we just give quotes here and there. For example, in Buddhism, there are 4 noble truths, and the first one starts with the awareness that there is suffering in life. Sometimes when we start, especially spiritual practices, we try not to really focus on the problem. So someone asks you, how are you doing? We always say like, I'm good, I'm fine. But deep down, we are actually suffering. So the first important step to take is to be aware that something is not right. Something needs to be fixed. I am actually suffering. And being in acceptance with that, accepting it, and making peace with the situation we are in. So the first level of awareness is to understand that there is suffering in life, and suffering is part of life. There is a reason we are all here. Nobody is perfect, and we are all growing. The whole purpose of life is to grow and to be a better person. But we all grow through challenges in life. Whenever we pass through a challenge, we learn to be more loving, to be more compassionate, to be stronger. There's a saying, What doesn't kill you make you stronger, because when we go through the suffering, we become stronger, we become more intelligent, thinking about the ways of coming out of the suffering. So all of that has a reason, has a place in our life. And the second awareness is this suffering has a cause. We need to think about why we are suffering. What is the purpose? What is for us to grow? What is for us to learn? And then the understanding that suffering can end. And of course, the last noble truth, talks about the means and ways of dealing with the suffering, and that is the eightfold path. We are going to talk about techniques to help us deal with the suffering that we are going through in life as we go through this presentation. But the first thing is to have that spiritual awareness. Without awareness, change is impossible. Okay. Now, to understand what is happening, we need to also understand that we have this physical body, but beyond this physical body is an energy field that is called the energy body. Beyond that energy body is another body called the astral body, or the emotional body, which is the vehicle of emotions. Through the existence of the emotional body, we feel emotions. And we also have a mental body. And the mental body is the medium of thoughts. Because of the existence of the mental body, we think, we process information, and we have causal body and so on. All of these bodies have consciousness of their own. All our chakras have consciousness of their own, but they have to be controlled. For example, the solar plexus chakra, you may have heard about it a lot. The solar plexus is the center for lower emotions. Because of solar plexus, we feel stressed, we feel fear. But again, it's not wise, and it's not even possible to remove stress and fear completely from our life, because each of these emotions, each of these thoughts play an important role in our life. For example, fear is a protection mechanism, or stress. When we are having a deadline, stress makes us, be more alert, work faster to meet the deadline. So it's not even logical to remove it completely, but it has to be controlled. Now, challenges, weaknesses happen when we lose control over these bodies and over these energy centers or chakras. But when there is more spiritual energy coming down, when there is more soul energy, we gain control over the bodies, and we can move towards the purpose of our life, which is growth. Now, there are so many stories in, esoteric teachings. For example, there's a story in Sufism about a person who was riding a camel to go from one city to another city, but the camel had a baby in the original city. So whenever the person was aware and riding the camel towards the destination, he or she would go closer to the destination that he or she was, going towards. But the moment the person loses the control because he or she was sleeping or so on, the camel would go backward because of the child. This actually is an example of, or refers to, our bodies and the soul. The person riding the camel symbolizes the soul. So whenever the soul has control over the bodies, we can move towards the direction, towards our soul purpose. But the moment we lose control, the bodies will do whatever the bodies want to do. So in order to reduce the suffering and to be able to move forward, we need to increase the soul connection. We need to increase the spiritual energy. And we are going to talk about means and methods of doing so. But that understanding that soul energy or spiritual energy gives us more control over the body is essential. Now, to be able also to control our life and to heal our, challenges, it's also important to understand how our thoughts and emotions affect our bodies, affect our system. Whenever we create a thought, This thought, in spiritual language, in esoteric teachings, we call it a thought form or a thought entity, just to emphasize that the thought is alive and it can affect us and other people positively or negatively. So whenever we create a thought, whenever we feel an emotion, that thought or emotion has energy, and it can affect us and other people positively or negatively based on the content of the thought. So whenever you create positive thoughts, we are impacting ourselves and other people in a positive way. I give you an example. Imagine you're riding in a bus and there are 2 or 3 people laughing, and having a good time laughing in front of you. Even without knowing what they are laughing about, you may find yourself smiling because the energy of laughter, happiness, in a certain radius affect everyone and we feel happier. But on the other hand, when you see 2 people arguing, fighting with each other, you also start to feel not so good. And because thoughts and emotions are energy and they can affect us and other people positively or negatively. Okay, now we will use this concept later on as we talk about certain techniques to transmute lower negative emotions to positive emotions through meditations, through affirmations, and through practices. Okay. Now, another concept that we need to talk about is signs of blocked energy. Arko, back to you.
Signs of blocked energy, health, wealth, relationships, there's emptiness. All these kinds of blocked energies, they make us want to do things in order to fulfill the need. I read this very interesting quote from a poet the other day. The guy said that if you are completely balanced in life, if you are completely sorted in life, if there's no problems in your life, you'll never feel the desire to create anything. You'll never feel the desire to generate anything. Why? Because we only create something which we feel the lack of. We feel the lack of love, we will write poetry. We'll feel the lack of beauty, we'll paint pictures, something of that sort. This is what this person's perspective was. So it's one way to take a blockage of energy and move it forward in a way that is both productive and creative and not harmful to other people. So Master Chokuksui says that when there's a crisis, you have to ask yourself, what is the problem? Is this information which we are dealing with, is this information valid? Is this information exaggerated or is this information distorted? We have to study the options. We have to ask ourselves, what can be done? What is within your control? What is beyond your control? And just to take the example of what was happening in the chat right now, there were these people who were sending really disruptive messages. Fake messages are real. So we were trying to figure out whether the messages were real or not, whether someone was in a crisis or not, and they're looking for some sort of a problem to be solved. But ultimately, we found out that they were actually being disruptive for the heck of it, and another person was just being weird. So what was within our control? To worry about ratings from 3 people who may distort us, or for the 100 people who are already here who are looking forward to a proper response. So for the sake of the greater audience, remove the troublemakers. Doesn't matter. So signs of being able to deal with blocked energy is your focus, the questions you ask yourself. Why? Because as more soul energy comes into the system, we are able to deal with them. Disease can be a manifestation, can be, not always is, can be. Disease can be a manifestation of the soul energy being blocked in certain parts of the body. So if someone has a really high blood sugar count, or if their skin is darkening or something's happening, chances are the solar plexus chakra is really affected. It could be affected because of physical reasons, but usually, more often than not, it's because of psychological reasons. So this heavy emotional energy, as Hengame said, these thoughts, they are real. These emotions, they create physical patterns. One thing I read somewhere, and I don't remember exactly where, body fat. How many of us here would like to lose weight? Okay, I'm raising both hands here. How many of us want to lose weight? Sometimes the body creates extra fat as a means of protecting us from the assault of the world. I'll say it again. Body, fat is stagnant energy, right? Fat is inflammation. Fat creates inflammation. Muscle creates normalization. We create a sense of inflammation and shielding and protection or buffer around us so that we are not hit by the assault, the physical assault, the psychological assault, the financial assault of the world around us. So because of the constant pressure that we are under, we are creating this sense of fat. which is manifesting in actual physical fat. Now, depending on the kind of pressure you're feeling, the fat can be in your hands, your chest, your abdominal area, your thighs. Different parts of the body have different reactions. So this is again energy getting blocked. And as someone very beautifully messaged in the chat, that they're able to lose a lot of weight, let go of a lot of the weight after doing a lot of forgiveness. The good news is we have the prayer of forgiveness. We'll be practicing that so you can let go. I do not know if you're going to lose weight after that, but I promise you, you'll definitely feel lighter. Okay, so that's one of the signs of the blocked energy. Now, whether we are able to recognize the higher side of things, let's go on to the next slide and talk about that. Okay, recognizing the higher purpose of pain and life challenges. Now, how many of you have heard this, or how many of you have been told by other people that even though you're going through a difficult time, always look at the positive? How many people here? If you face this, just write yes in the chat. That even though you've gone through a difficult time, whether it's finance or relationship, whatever, some well-wisher has come and said, think positive, think of the good things. And how many times have you felt like saying, let me make you stop breathing for a while? Right? How many times have you felt like screaming, shouting? If yes, write capital yes. Have you felt that frustration that I am going through pain? I am going through suffering. And yet you're making me think positive? And I'll give you an example of this. Last week or week before last, I was traveling somewhere, and I was at this office, and when one of the employees, this girl, she walks in, and we can clearly see that she's in a state of shock. Okay, she's talking normally, and on investigation, we find that she's cut her hands, she's cut her forehead. There's a big welt bruise on her forehead that's turning purple. She's got cuts on her body. She's fallen down. She's been in a motorcycle accident. She got hit by a car. The bike that she was on, fell down, hit herself, and she comes back into office, and she says, yeah, and she's just recollecting the incident normally, that something has happened. And so there were a group of healers around, and we started asking what's going on. And this person was absolutely composed, not in a state of shock, but she was in charge of herself. It's a sign of the ajna chakra coming into play. So after the initial first aid, washing, antiseptic, bandages, and everything, we sat down, I spoke to her and started the healing. And I said, okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, I do that in real life too. Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, how are you feeling? And she said, yeah, I'm actually feeling quite okay. I'm feeling quite okay. Everything is manageable. So I said, okay, but on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad is the pain? And she said, 7. So I absolutely paused, really surprised that this person, there's blood running down her knuckles and hands, and there's something on the forehead and knees and stuff. She said that she is okay, but the pain is 7 out of 10. That's a sign of a person who's recognized that it was a situation and she's able to manage it and go through it without getting affected by all the other drama, all the other problems that come around it. And that was really, really, really impressive. So recognizing the higher purpose of pain and life challenges, it involves understanding that while you have adversity, while you have difficulties in life, they give you an opportunity for growth. They give you an opportunity for becoming stronger, and they help you to make positive changes about yourself. It's about shifting your focus from the suffering to what can be learned. It's not that, why is this happening to me? Why did I break up in my relationship? Why did I lose money? Why did this person behave that way? Rather than focusing on the victim side of things, although that's natural, to shift the focus to asking, what is this trying to teach me? Agree with this? Do you agree with this? Because Master Chua has a very gentle quote that says, problem in life make you stronger and more compassionate. He also has a tougher quote that says, stop wallowing in your selfish misery. He has a quote. How many of you remember that quote? Stop wallowing in your selfish misery, right? If you remember it, give me a thumbs up or write down a yes, gentle yes. So it's not so much about being crying and facing all these problems, but actually about asking, what is this trying to teach me? What am I learning here? And that itself, asking that question will automatically make your spiritual cord bigger. So for those of you who know pranic healing, for those of you who know how to scan the size of your spiritual cord. When you think of those problems you wrote before, whether it was trauma or neglect or abuse or whatever it is, when you wrote that down, the size of your spiritual cord, and right now, as you said, what was that situation trying to teach me? What was that situation trying to teach me? And then you compare the size of your spiritual cord, and let's have some answers in the chat. Write down what the difference is that you feel. And again, on a scale of 1 to 10, you can just give that measurement. Instead of just asking, why is this happening to me? You shift your focus to what is this trying to teach me? Answers in the chat. What difference do you feel? What difference do you feel? Yeah. Okay. So with the signs of blocked energy and recognition of it, yes, now you see the spiritual cord has increased. We're getting the messages in the chat that the spiritual cord has almost doubled. There's a huge difference. You don't have to do a whole lot. All you have to do is just ask yourself, what is this trying to teach me? Automatically, the higher soul sends energy down and you start feeling that improvement. Okay. So signs of blocked energy, signs of recognizing that energy. So then it's all about perspective and how you can take care of things. For that, I request Hengame to please take over. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And for people who are new to this and to pranic healing especially, spiritual cord is basically, there's a path. How spiritual energy enter to our system is through a channel, which we call it a spiritual cord. So the more spiritual energy flow to our system, we feel more composed, we feel calmer, and the less spiritual energy is flowing through us is when we are having stress or we are in the midst of certain calamity that we cannot control. We feel emotional imbalance. Now, for people who have the ability to check and scan the size of the spiritual cord, you can check it. Otherwise, by just being aware of your emotions, you can actually see and understand and know how much spiritual energy you are receiving. If in the midst of a certain challenge, you shift your awareness and you say, instead of, as Arko said, instead of saying, why this is happening, why me, shift your awareness higher and say, what is this situation teaching me? And just observe your internal condition. You may notice that from feeling desperate, from feeling stressed, from feeling worried, you start to feel calmer, you start to feel relaxed. And then you start to see the bigger picture and realize that there is a reason why I'm going through this challenge. And there is a certain lesson for me to learn here. And that is actually a sign of more spiritual energy flowing to us. By just observing how we are feeling, we can also know if the spiritual cord is bigger or not. Because the more spiritual energy flow, the more calmer, the more composed we will be. Now, after being aware of the situation we are in, again, we said without awareness, change is impossible. So we need to be aware of the situation, what situation we are in, why it's happening, the cause, and then we can focus on the solutions. Now, there are so many solutions which can help us deal with, emotional challenges. One of them is healing. Now, there are so many different healing modalities. One of the techniques that personally has helped me so much is pranic psychotherapy. I started pranic healing in 2007 because of a depression, because of a spiritual emptiness. And I remember due to that spiritual emptiness, I was becoming more and more reserved, not talking to people, being more alone, being to myself, and feeling sad all the time. So at that time, some of my friends were practicing, some sort of healing technique. So they suggested me to attend a class, and that happened to be pranic healing. After joining, I started to do healing on myself, and I saw that when I'm disintegrating, when I'm removing all these negative thoughts, emotions, sadness, grief, because as we discussed, even thoughts and emotions are energy, I'm feeling happier, I'm feeling more relaxed. Now, there are again many other healing modalities that you can try. We will talk about each one of these categories in detail shortly, but I'm just giving you a bigger picture. So healing is direct. So if you have a certain issue, Either yourself or a healer can help you recognize it, clean it, energize, balance the chakras, balance the aura, balance your energy, and transmute those lower emotions, lower thoughts into positive emotions and feel better. Second category is meditation. Now, meditation, the effect is more gradual. As you do the meditation in a more regular basis, you will feel that as more spiritual energy is coming down, it will slowly and gradually flush out all those negative thoughts, emotions, energy out of your system, and you will feel better. So healing is direct. You may experiencing it in the first session itself. Meditation is more gradual. Again, you feel it from the first meditation itself, but for it to actually create an impact, you may need to do it in a regular basis as the effect is more gradual. And again, there are so many different meditation techniques. Some of them are to achieve stillness. Some of them activate Kundalini. Some of them, increase awareness. Some of them like mindfulness meditations. One of the meditations that we recommend, especially for healing, is meditation on twin hearts, because during this meditation, we become a channel to bless every person, every being on earth. And the whole, process of meditation on twin hearts help to activate the heart chakra, activate the crown chakra. And heart chakra in our center, in our system is the center for higher emotions such as peace, happiness, joy. So as the heart chakra gets more activated, we start to feel more in peace, more calm, more in control, more composed. Now we will do a very short version of just becoming a channel to bless the earth later on, so you can experience the impact, how it transmutes lower emotions into higher emotions. And eventually the last one is forgiveness. A lot of the time, if you notice, we feel bad either because we are upset about someone, or we are upset and we can't forgive ourselves. Sometimes we blame ourselves, sometimes we blame others. So forgiveness can help us release those feelings of hurt, feelings of guilt, feeling of anger, frustration. There is a saying by Buddha that you will get punished by your anger. Because when we have anger, when we have resentment, these energies affect our system. Again, we said thoughts and emotions are energy. A lot of physical problems happen because of emotion. Doctor says about 90% of diseases are psychosomatic, means the cause is psychological. So forgiving ourselves, forgiving others, help us release all these lower emotions and feel better. We are going to do again another practice shortly after this to forgive ourselves and to forgive others and release whatever negative emotions of hurt or anger, hatred, resentment, or guilt we are carrying on for. Could be for days, could be for weeks, could be for months or years. Now, before we talk about the techniques, we wanted to also talk about a new perspective in life. Okay, now, sometimes it is a tendency of a person to be a pain in the neck. We have all experienced people who come to our life, hurt us in a way, especially people close to us, because those are the ones that we get hurt the most, because we expect them to love us, to support us, but when they do something that is not right or something that we don't expect, we feel even more hurt. Now, these people are needed to help us grow. Regard a person who is a pain in your leg as a way to develop your spiritual muscles. Now, there is a concept in Christianity called forgiveness, which is when someone hurt you, forgive them. But there is also this concept in Buddhism called compassion. Now, what compassion means? Compassion means if someone hurt you, if someone causes pain, look at the person as an object, like how can I say, don't look at the person subjectively. Look at the person objectively and think why this person is here in my life and hurt me. Of course, there's a lesson for me to learn. Now, a person who is practicing compassion thinks that, now, poor this person who appeared in my life and did this, which hurt me, to teach me a lesson. Now, the negative karma is going to come back to the person because, again, karma is the law of cause and effect. Whatever you do, you will receive it back. If you do good deeds, you will receive good actions. If you do not so good things, it will also come back to you. So whatever we sow, we will reap. Now, this person who is practicing compassion thinks, now this person is going to reap the fruits of what he or she did to me. So instead of being angry with the person, they actually thank and say, thank you so much for appearing in my life to teach me a lesson. And now you have, it's like a sacrifice. Now you have to go through life and reap, the fruits of your actions. But thank you again, because if you were not here, I wouldn't have learned. See, it's like even one level higher than forgiveness. So you don't think that the person hurt you, now you have to forgive them. You think that the person actually appeared because I had to learn a lesson. And now the person has to go through the reactions, like go through the karma of what they have done, just because they came for me to learn something. So instead of being angry and now forgive, you just say thank you. Thank you for appearing in my life, and thank you for teaching me the lesson. I know it's a very different way of looking at life, and nobody here is perfect. We are not perfect, and we are not expected to behave in that level, but we just wanted to discuss that there are people who have reached that level, and whenever something happened to them, they don't think about who did it. They think about why it happened and what here is for me to learn. And then they thank the person for showing them the way, showing them, what they need to work on. Okay, there is another quote by Master Chakras who is saying, can you fix yourself without a mirror? Someone who dislikes you is like a mirror. Again, it's a new perspective, but gradually, if we try to develop this perspective so that when someone hurt us, instead of being angry with the person and blaming the person, think about ourselves and think that why this person appeared in my life, what was here for me to learn, and how can I improve myself, then it's much easier, to deal with challenges and to move forward. Now, with this, let's talk about some of the techniques and methods that help us deal with emotional traumas, emotional challenges, and problems in life.
Thank you, Hangame. All right. We done a measurement on a scale of 1 to 10, however, before, where from 6s and 7s, it went on to 8s and 9s. Notice that you're around the same scale about now, 7, 8s, and 9s on the higher side. Why? This is because as we calm down or as we become more blissful, after some time we settle back to our level of preparedness, to our level of practice. Okay. By doing inner reflection, by practicing self-reflection and observation, we can deepen our understanding of ourselves and also of others, of these others who are doing these things, saying such things. So the quality of development that you have, you can measure this. Okay. So on a scale of 1 to 10, let's think of a person who's made us really angry. Let's think of a person who's made us really angry. You're free to think of the trolls who joined us in the chat sometime before. Otherwise, think of someone in your life. Usually it's a relative, usually it's a close person. And I heard this line from someone. They said, great anger or great hatred is only possible when there was great love to begin with. Okay, personally, personal relationships. We're not talking about any political or any other kinds of beliefs. We're talking about someone personally. You can only greatly dislike them if there was some amount of love to begin with. So the question that Hengame asked, that what are they, not only what are they teaching us, but they're like a mirror to ourselves. Think of a person who's made you really angry. Done? Easy, right? Easy? Easy, easy, easy? Okay, great. Think of 5 things about them. Okay, no, forget 5 things. Think of 2 things about them that make you really upset about them. Okay. Now let's have some reflections in the chat, if you don't mind sharing. Since we're not asking who the person is, if you can share, say one thing about this person that makes you really angry. Maybe they don't brush their teeth very well. Maybe they chew their food really, really loudly. Maybe they snore. Okay. I'm giving silly examples, but selfishness is a very good answer. That the person is very, very selfish. They can be very rude. They can be lying. They can be lying. They can say rude things. They can be very greedy. They can be really immature. Sometimes they just say what they want to say, and they really don't care how it makes others feel. They just walk away. People like that, right? They say whatever they want. They make a scene, and they don't care. It's all about them, their ego, their solar plexus. They're mistrustful, they're lies, they do a lot of gaslighting, they delay, they're slow. You notice that not one of the problems, if you're following the chat, you see these problems are unique kinds of problems. Okay. And it's very easy to think of multiple negative things about them. Fine, fantastic. Think of one nice thing about them. One nice thing. Okay, let's flip the script. Everyone who's written the answers, think of one nice thing about these nasty people. Okay, so for the person who said that they can be very selfish, it could be that they have healthy self-esteem. If they are, see, nice answers coming up. They're thoughtful, they're caring. These are generic ones. The one who said they cook really well, that's a very specific kind of thought. If you say good soul, that's a generic thing, because if they were a good soul, why would you be annoyed about them, right? So be careful in how if you're able to qualify and quantify the negative, qualify and quantify the positive also. So don't just say they're thoughtful, because if they're thoughtful, you wouldn't be angry, you wouldn't be upset, right? Make sense? So this is a mental blind spot that you have. So don't say good soul, don't just say thoughtful. Write something tangible, that they go and feed 20 dogs, or they volunteer at the local shelter. Every year they go on a trip with their family. They do this. They work out. They are inspiring somebody. So don't be vague about stuff. Like you're very specific about what you don't like about them, be specific about what you like about them. And that's a very nice answer. Checked in when she found me in trouble. Okay, right? There's one person who's saying, like, I'm 100% negative, I'm serious, not one positive trait. Master Chua says that not every good person is completely good, and not every bad person is completely bad. Okay, so in inner reflection, are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? This is the tough part. Okay, this is the tough part, right? Ready? Okay, attention. All eyes here, as we said. Like energies attract, yes? Like energies attract, yes? Right. What is the quality in you that attracted that negative quality from them? If like energies attract, then if they are negative, if they are harsh or selfish or whatever, what was that like energy in you which attracted that of them to you? Interesting, right? That's inner reflection. That's inner reflection. You have something in you that's connecting them to you. Make sense? Yes or no? Make sense? Yes or no? If I have attracted somebody who's arrogant, do I have a degree of arrogance in me? Chances are it's yes. If I am surrounded by people who are always angry, who are always shouting, chances are that I am impatient, or I am short-tempered, or blah, 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 blah. Okay? So like energies attract, and that's inner reflection. It's not just about that I am in a superior state because I've seen what's wrong with you. Master Chua says generate one good thought a day about a person you don't like. And after some time, you'll see them as they are. They're just young souls. They can't help themselves. Doesn't mean that we are grown up and mature souls, right? Doesn't mean that. We all have our issues that we're dealing with. Yes or no? We all have it. So what is the issue in you, or what is the energy or quality in you that's attracting that energy to you? Now, that said, because you've asked that question and you've already asked those questions before, what's it trying to teach me? Is the person like a mirror? Because if you've identified anger, it's like a mirror. You've been able to see that. With that said, rescan the size of your spiritual cord. For those of you who don't know pranic healing, who are joining in for the first time, well, we've got a workshop coming up sometime in July, and you'll be able to learn how to do all of this measuring of energy beauty, okay? Workshop taken by Dr. Hegame, right there on the screen. So please, scan your spiritual cord, scan the size of the spiritual cord, and how much bigger? How much bigger is it now? Okay, by the time we're done with the session, your spiritual cord should be like, I don't know, 500 meters wide or 50 meters wide, whichever's bigger. So you find there's a difference just because you're being honest with yourself. You're reflecting, what was that in me that's brought this to my space? What's it trying to teach me? How much is it making a difference? So we calm down, we calm down, not calm down, we calm down. We take a breath and we relax and find out what it is. Okay, so moving on to the next one after inner reflection, which I will request Hengame to take over, please.
Okay. The second technique that can help us feel calmer and be more in control to decide what we need to do with a certain situation that we are in is called soul affirmation. Now, in the beginning, we discussed that the more spiritual energy, the more soul energy comes down, it gives us more control over the vehicles, over our system, over the bodies, you know. One of the ways to increase that spiritual energy is through an affirmation. Now, what is this affirmation? This affirmation is to affirm that we are not the body, we are not the emotion, and we are not the thought, we are not even the mind. We are the soul, and we are a spiritual being of divine intelligence, divine love, and divine power. So by keep affirming that I am not the body, I am not the emotions, I am not the thoughts, I am the soul, we detach ourselves, we detach our attention from focusing so much on the negative thoughts and emotions, and we affirm that I am the soul. So we are trying to raise the consciousness higher. Now, if you notice, sometimes, you know, there are some people when they are under a lot of stress, they go and play a game or they drive. I heard one time in the news that there are so many people that when they are under stress, they actually prefer to go out and drive. Now, why this helps to deal with the stress, worry, or a certain emotion is because it helps to change your attention, change your focus from focusing on the stress to something else, which could be a game, which could be driving, which could be listening to a music, a nice music. For some people, it's watching a movie. And for many people, it's chanting mantras. Okay, when you chant a mantra, you are focusing on the mantra. So it will help you not to focus so much on the emotion or on the thought that is bothering you. And when we don't put so much attention, so much energy in that negative thought or emotion, that thought or emotion becomes dimmer and dimmer and dimmer, and then it won't bother us anymore. Okay? Now, in this soul affirmation, instead of playing a game or like driving or even chanting a mantra, we affirm that I am not the body, I am not the emotions, I am not the thoughts, I am the soul. And this will help to again detach our attention, detach our focus from that negative thought, and raise the consciousness higher to remember who we really are. We are a soul experiencing this life to grow up. Master Chua Kok Sui says the mission of your life, of your soul, is to grow up. Okay, so when we actually remember this, then we stay calm, we become more relaxed, more composed, and then we can actually deal with the situation. Now, the purpose of doing this soul affirmation is not just to feel good and forget about the problem that we have. The whole purpose is to detach from the emotion so that we can look at the bigger picture and then decide what needs to be done in this situation. Because decisions made in anger, decisions made when you are worried, when you are afraid, when you have like phobia, usually tend not to be really good decisions, right? So this is just to help us detach, stay calm, so that we can take a better decision with awareness, with control. Now let's do it. So sit again comfortably. Just be aware of your emotional state right now. If there is a situation that you are dealing with, if you are worried about a certain situation, if you are dealing with a certain challenge in your life, just have that in mind. Now, with this soul affirmation, we want to detach, we want to bring down soul energy. And sometimes just doing this affirmation, because it helps to bring down a lot of spiritual energy or soul energy, you may get some insights towards the problem that you are dealing with. You may get some messages or some solutions, okay? So let's do this once. Just relax, be still and be aware. Mentally follow this affirmation that I am not the body. I am not the emotions. I am not the thoughts. I am not even the mind. The mind is only a subtle instrument of the soul. I am the soul. I am that I am. I am a spiritual being of divine intelligence, divine love, and divine power. I am connected and one with my higher soul. I am that I am. I am a child of God. I am connected with God. I am one with God. I am one with all. This is the truth, regardless of the capacity of the brain to experience the truth. I am that I am. Now just be still and be aware. Be aware of your emotional state right now. See how you feel in relation to the problem that you were having before. Just observe and see if you feel calmer, if you feel more relaxed. Now, some of you may already receive insights, messages, solutions to the problem. Just be still and be aware. Inhale slowly and deeply. And open your eyes with a big, big smile. Now, sometimes, especially if you are in the midst of that situation and your emotions are really up and down, you may need to repeat this several times. Keep saying, I'm not the body, I'm not the emotions, I'm not the thoughts, I am the soul, until you really feel like you are not focusing on that problem, on that emotion anymore. You are more calm, more relaxed, and then you can actually think about the solution that you have to take. Okay, now let's move on to the next one, which is forgiveness and detachment.
Thank you, Hingame. Forgiveness. Forgiveness. Okay. This is something that I've seen Master Chua do in the videos, and I will take the great liberty of asking you to kind of imitate that. So you take one hand, okay, and you make your finger like this. Okay, not necessarily in your eyes, you just make one finger like that. And you take the other hand. If you're watching this with your phone, you can put the phone down. Take the other hand and chain it together like. So you got one finger here and the other one chained together. Try and pull it through. You can't. It's stuck. Anger and hatred bind souls together. Anger and hatred chain souls together. The beauty of forgiving, the beauty of detaching is that you can just let go from your side and you're free. You just let go from your side and you are free. Okay. If you don't forgive, you'll continue to think about the offender and the offensive incident, the unpleasant incident. But when you forgive, when you bless, you stop wallowing in mud. You stop soaking in your own selfish misery. You stop generating that same negative thought forms over and over again, and you achieve inner peace and freedom. So, question: how many of you, now, inner reflection, moment of truth, how many of you are still thinking about the offender? How many of you are still thinking about the unpleasant event? Okay, honestly. If you're thinking about it, just right there in the chat, thinking, thinking, thinking. Okay, just right there in the chat, thinking, thinking, thinking. Right? You're still thinking about it, right? Master Chua says, don't be unhappy. The past is in the past. Let go. Learn to forgive. Learn to forgive, okay? Learn to forgive and forget. Let go and go on living. So the way to handle your enemies is to forgive and forget. Otherwise, you'll become their nanny, their mother or father, wiping their backsides in your future incarnations. Now, the teacher has a sense of humor. He said he's wiping, you'll be wiping their backsides. The degree of cleanliness of the backside is not mentioned. How clean the backside is not mentioned. Okay, so is that something that you want to do? Imagine this person. So all those who wrote thinking, okay, still thinking about it. Those of you who are still thinking about them, imagine that you have to clean their backsides. Not very clean in a future incarnation. Is it a pleasant thought or an unpleasant thought? Pleasant or unpleasant? Pleasant or unpleasant? You can write that in the chat. Pleasant or unpleasant? Chances are it's not very pleasant. It's not pleasant at all, because thinking of having to clean someone's. Well, so do you want that? You don't want that. You don't want that, right? You don't want that. So, okay, right. Let's just shake yourself off, shake the energy off, and say, I let go. I let go. Ready? I let go. Just verbally say that 3 times. 3 times, okay? I let go. I choose to let go. I release. I let go. Feeling better? Feeling lighter, feeling more dynamic? That's because your solar plexus your ego has been told that, yes, we acknowledge your emotions, we acknowledge your feelings, we're no longer going to be stuck with it. Okay, so no point in just crying, no point in just wallowing in self-pity. So let's go on to the next slide, just the next slide over there, and we're going to do the prayer of forgiveness, the actual prayer of forgiveness, where we can let go. Okay, so you see the text over there. You're forgiven. God's blessings and peace be with me and be with you. We'll repeat this 7 times, but today's day 1. You're expected to do the next 6 days by yourself. So just put your phones or devices aside. We'll put our hands in the namaste position. Ready? Put the hands in the namaste position. Think of this one person who is chained to you, or who you are chained to. Ready? 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 Okay. Atma namaste. Just repeat this verbally with me, okay? Repeat this verbally loudly with me. Atma namaste. You are forgiven. God's blessings and peace be with me and be with you. Atma namaste. You are forgiven. God's blessings and peace be with me and be with you. Atma namaste. You are forgiven. God's blessings and peace be with me and be with you. Atma namaste. You are forgiven. God's blessings and peace be with me and be with you. Atma namaste. You are forgiven. God's blessings and peace be with me and be with you. Atma namaste. You are forgiven. God's blessings and peace be with me and be with you. Last time. Atma namaste. You are forgiven. God's blessings and peace be with me and be with you. Now just put your hands by your side. We'll chant Om 3 times. Okay, we'll just chant Om 3 times. You can mentally follow along, or you can verbally chant. Verbally chanting is recommended. Om. 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 Keep your eyes closed. Just enjoy the stillness. Keeping your eyes closed, remember these words, that compassion means to forgive, that there's both inner forgiveness and outer forgiveness. Inner forgiveness is for all people. but outer forgiveness is on a case-to-case basis. If the crime is serious or the mistake is serious, the offender cannot be forgiven externally. There has to be justice. There has to be order, without which there will be chaos. But inner forgiveness is for everybody without exception. Now, say namaste, gently open your eyes and cut the cord that connects you to the other person. Cut, cut, cut. In the chat, write down, how do you feel? How do you feel? Super, lighter, not thinking, feeling better? Good, very good. Some of you may be feeling a little emotional. Some of you may have a little bit of waterworks happening. Extremely light and peaceful. Excellent. Now you're ready for the next part, which is the meditation and affirmation side. Hengame, would you please guide us forward to this one?
Thank you so much. So we discussed about different methods of meditation. So one of the techniques that can really help with inner healing is the meditation on twin hearts. During the meditation on twin hearts, we become a channel to bless every person, every being on earth with peace, with joy, with happiness, sweetness, tenderness. So as we are doing this, as we are blessing the whole world with these energies, we will also, our internal condition also will be transmuted. So as we bless the whole world with peace, we will also experience peace. As we bless the whole world with happiness, we also feel happy inside. So as we do this meditation in a regular basis, you may notice that gradually you are feeling happier, you are feeling lighter, you are feeling more relaxed, you are feeling more joyful, blissful, because as we give, we will receive. Okay. So this meditation has a healing quality. Now let's do this blessing part. We will not do the full meditation together, but just to see how it feels, how our internal condition can be transmuted, how our lower emotions and thoughts can be transmuted using this meditation, especially the blessing part. Let's practice it together. Okay, just a blessing part. Again, observe how you are feeling out of 10 right now. Many of you were already feeling 8 or 9. Let's see if by doing this, we can actually make it 10. Okay? So for this, I want you to connect your tongue to your palate. Curl your tongue, connect it to the soft part of the palate. Raise your hand shoulder level. Visualize a small planet Earth in front of you. And as we are doing this, we will also include people who have hurt us, people that we were just discussing, we are angry with, we have not forgiven. We will also shower all of them, everybody without exception, okay? So visualize this planet Earth in front of you, including all your loved ones, your relatives, your friends, as well as people who are difficult, your boss, your manager, your colleagues, people who have hurt you, your exes, all of them are in the planet Earth. So we are going to bless everybody without exception. Now be aware of your hearts and be aware of your hands. Shower every person, every being on earth with love, with peace and happiness. Mentally say, may every person, every being on earth be blessed with divine light, divine love and divine power, divine guidance, help and protection, inner healing and physical healing, good health and happiness. Bless all those people who have hurt you in the past. Shower them with love, with understanding, with forgiveness. Mentally say, you are all forgiven. Go in peace. Forgive also yourself. Release all the guilt and anger. Shower everybody without exception with love and joy, with peace and happiness. Mentally say, Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Wherever there is hatred, let me sow love. Wherever there is despair, hope, sadness, joy, darkness, light. May every person, every being, without exception, be tremendously blessed with goodwill, with will to do good, with joy and happiness, with inner strength, with inner healing and physical healing, good health and happiness. Blessings be with all. So be it. So be it. So be it. Now, gently open your eyes with a big, big smile. Now, how are you feeling? Out of 10. Did this help when you bless others? Does it help us to feel better? When we give, again, law of karma, when we give, we will receive. So when we bless everybody without exception, not only we are helping them by channeling spiritual energies, loving energies to the whole world to improve the situation on earth, but also it has a lot of benefit for us because all these energies, we are experiencing it first before channeling it to the whole world. So the first thing that it impacts is our internal condition. All those lower emotions and thoughts gets transmuted into higher emotions. So especially if you have had a bad day, if you are feeling hurt, stressed, worried, doing this meditation can really help to transmute the lower emotions. Master Choa Kok Sui says, doing meditation on twin hearts is like taking a spiritual shower. It actually helps to release lower emotions and transmute them into higher emotions. Okay, now, for bonus, we have one more affirmation that we will do together. We will just recite it once. Affirmations are just words of power. They will help to uplift us. Now, such an affirmation can be done whenever you are feeling low, whenever you are feeling sad, whenever you are feeling depressed, stressed. Just reciting such affirmation can help you improve your internal condition again. So let's do this as the ending, and then we will finish with another Thanksgiving prayer. So if you want, you can read with me. Feel the emotions as you read the words. So when we say, I am constantly radiating goodness, feel that goodness, feel that joy of, doing that. Read it with emotion. The more emotion we put into it, the stronger it becomes. Yes, you can take a screenshot if you want. So mentally say, verbally say, with emotion, with happiness, I am constantly radiating goodness. Only goodness can come to me. I am constantly radiating love. Only love is constantly coming to me. I am constantly radiating harmony and peace. Only harmony and peace can come to me. I am constantly radiating divine life. Only divine life can come to me. I am constantly radiating divine light. Only divine light can come to me. I am a child of the Supreme Being. I manifest divine life in my body. I manifest divine love in my body. I manifest divine power in my body. My body manifests divine wholeness. So be it. Okay, so whenever you're feeling low, not only this affirmation, there are so many other affirmations that if you Google, you will find, but such a positive affirmation can help us, especially when we read it with clarity, when we read it with emotion, when we read it with joy and happiness, it can help us to feel better. And again, feeling better is not just to forget about the situations we are dealing with, is just to put us in the right mindset so that we can deal with the challenges. Because again, challenges are there to teach us a lesson, to help us grow. So once we are in a better emotional state, we can deal with them. And spiritual energy, bringing down a lot of spiritual energy, can help us achieve that. Okay, now let's finish. Arko, I will pass it to you just to discuss about this group meditation that we are having and ending. Thank you.
Thank you, Hengame. So, Atma Namaste, we are almost at the end of the session. Officially, the session content is over. This is a call to action that if you join our WhatsApp group, then we do this group meditation and blessing every Saturday. That's 3 p.m. at India time, which is 5:30 p.m. Manila time and 7:30 p.m. Sydney time. So that's one of the things that's there. It's always in our group chat. On the next slide is a photo of some of the sessions that we've done so far. Next slide, yes. That has the once a month prosperity healing sessions. This is exclusively for our monthly donors, those who are donating to us, supporting us, helping spread pranic healing physically in our various locations, especially in Australia, Hengame, where Hengame is, and of course these sessions online. So thank you so much for contributing. If you want to contribute, that QR code you see on your screen will take you to the support page. And so we have the regular sessions and prosperity sessions, and I can vouch from what we know about the people that there are more finances coming their way. There's more prosperity coming their way, because one of the fastest way towards generating prosperity karma is by donating to a spiritual cause. So that said, please feel free, yes, feel free to take a screenshot for that. Thank you so much for joining us for this wonderful session. Let us end with a prayer of thanksgiving. We'll be in the receptive pose. Take a deep breath, exhale. To the Supreme Being, Lord Parabrahman, to First Creator, to my spiritual teacher, Master Chokoksui, to Lord Mahaguruji Mele, to all the great ones, the holy gurus, holy masters, saints, archangels, holy angels, the beings of light and spiritual helpers, to the angels of pranic healing and arhatic yoga, to the angels of love and relationships, to the angels of prosperity and abundance, thank you for your blessings of divine light, divine love, divine power, for healing, inner healing, physical healing, psychological healing, relationship healing. Thank you for healing our body, our mind, our soul. Thank you. Thank you for guiding our thoughts, words, and actions. Thank you for your divine guidance, divine help, and divine protection at all levels, at all times, for ourselves, for our loved ones. We thank you in full faith. We thank you. Then, as a bonus, if you want, just put your hand in the blessing position and send blessings to everyone who's attended the session. We've got 420 something attendees for this event and everyone present here. Let's bless all the workshops that are happening, especially the July workshop that's happening that Hengame is taking. May be blessed with all the souls, with 50 or more students, all the souls who are ready for pranic healing to attend the workshops. Every one of you who's a trainer, who are taking classes, we bless you with so much success, so many students. If you're taking meditation sessions, may you have hundreds, thousands of people looking to you for guidance, for clarity. Blessings be to each and every one of you for all your wishes. May all your targets be blessed. May your family members be blessed. May your loved ones be blessed. May you be healed. So be it. Blessing your bank accounts, your business, your work, your projects with so much abundance and prosperity and success. Lots of money. So be it. Blessings be to each and every one of you. Atma Namaste. Thank you. See you for the next one. And see you on the WhatsApp group. We'll be sending the recorded links, edited this time. Take care.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you so much, everyone, for joining. Thank you. See you in the next event. Bye.